Y'all can do better than this. Y'all can do better than this.
Y'all can do better than this. Act like the South in the shit. Act like
And
the
so
South
on.
in the shit. It's just a midnight summer's jam. The air's so thin, but we don't give a damn.
Alright, how is everyone doing today? Now, in this video, we're covering Justin Timberlake's new song, Midnight Summer Jam. Now, if you feel like subscribing to keep up to date with all the latest songs that I'm putting up belonging to Justin Timberlake, for example, there's about 7 or 8 more from the album going up on my channel in the next few days. So if you want to keep up to date with that, just hit subscribe below and you'll be notified. Now, let's get into the lesson. Alright, so to begin, what we're looking at here are the chords of the main part, the bit that goes, y'all can't do better than this, y'all can't do better than this. Right, so to get into it, the chords are fairly jazzy. And again, I think this was one of the ones produced by the Neptunes, like Pharrell and Chad Hugo. So they do have a tendency to use fairly jazzy chords in their tunes. Right, D flat major 7 looks as follows. It's 4th fret on A. So D flat major 7 begins the start. Then we have E flat dominant 7th, then F minor, sorry it's F minor 7, then B flat dominant 7th. Okay, and that's the bit that goes, y'all can do better than this, y'all can do better than this.
Y'all can do better than this. Act like the South in the shit. Act like the
so
South
on.
in the shit.
Now, it slightly varies in the next bar. We have a G minor 7 with a flattened 5th. Basically, if you look at those notes though, it's like you have an A minor chord, an open A minor, slide it up a fret, then get your thumb and put it on the 3rd fret of the E string. That's how we get a really sad sounding chord. And then we get C7 with the flattened 9th. Now, by the way, getting to that chord from this G minor 7 with the flattened 5th, taking a look at my fingers here, all I'm going to do is the following. I'm going to leave my ring finger where it is. I'm going to take off my thumb, bring it to the back of the neck. I'm going to move my middle finger up a string. Then I'm going to bar with my index finger to get both of those 2nd frets. So we get that. It's quite a common jazz progression. Then F minor 9, basically if you want to either do it this way, using your F minor bar chord, then put your pinky on, and then B flat dominant 7th again. So those chords below are basically a glossary. Now, the rhythm of them, they're just single strums, but, and for this example I'm using my fingers, you can use a pick if you wish, but it'll go as follows. They'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So that happens on the offbeat of the 4th beat. Okay, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and just to give it a bit of context as to where we are right now. So now we've done the intro part, and that's also the refrain. Now, the verse has the funk rhythm, so does the post-chorus, so does the chorus. Okay, so taking a look at this, you're going to see that it's quite a funky thing. It's very like, we'd say, some of the funk guitar playing on Future Sex Love Sounds, like, what's the one? Love Stunt at the real end. So, let's get into it. You're going to see that we have a bit of muting going on. So, you will get your index finger on the 8th fret of the G and the B string, and those are the X's listed below. Okay, so when I do this, I'm actually just doing a mute. Okay, so to begin this section, what I'm going to begin by doing is talking about the notes themselves. So when you'll see the 2 8s down below. Okay, and then you'll see they continue the odd time here and there until we have a 9 and a 10 at the end. And I would make that with my middle finger on the 9, ring finger on the 10. Okay, now that we got the notes, I'm going to cover where in the beats those notes fall. So looking at this, you're going to see they're grouped in groups of 4. So I'm going to count it 1, E, and A for each grouping. right? So you're going to see the first group will go as follows. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and Okay, so that'll be your sort of paint by numbers approach. So if you count that out, you'll actually get each of those falling in the exact place. So I'll do that one more time. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and Now, if I play that sped up, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, and you'll notice at the real end, I didn't pick that. I hammered both of those on. So I hammer on the 8th, 9th, and the 10th fret there. Okay, so far we've covered where they fall within the beat, and we've covered that hammer on at the end. And if you look at the 9 and the 10 at the end of the third beat, you'll see that that rings into the fourth beat. Okay, so the whole bar would sound like this. It'd go 3, 4, 1. So you see it kind of rings out for that bit extra. Now, the thing about this is, it doesn't really sound like funk unless we start our strum going. Okay, so I'm going to explain very briefly how to do that. There's loads of cool funk tutorials up on YouTube if you want to check those out to get deeper into funk. So I'm just going to cover the real basics for this rhythm now. All right, so what we have here is as follows. Those X's, it's basically the way you made your 8th frets by barring your index. I just ask you to release the tension in that. And then when you pick those two strings again, they should be muted like that. Okay, so the 8th fret, you just relax your grip. Don't lift off the finger completely because you'll get this. Just relax it and we get that. Okay, now looking at that, you're going to see that covers all those X's that happen. So check this out. I'm just going to pick them all downs at the minute. But if we include our count from before, it goes 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and All right, so now at this stage, you have worked on counting it, 1 E and a 2 E and a. You've worked on what fingers go on those strings. You've worked on the hammer on between the 8 and the 9. And then we've added in what those X's are, which are basically like ghost drums for our funk rhythm. So the last missing piece is if you try and do that all downstrokes, it looks and sounds something like this. Bit more of a slow down funk feel, but with the speed this goes at, it needs to go down and up. Good news though, you're going to see that it's just alternating between down and up. So I go. And you see there on my strumming hand that I keep the pick really tight to the strings. And I do that by resting my wrist just around the bridge. Okay, so that is the main guitar part. Now, it sounds pretty empty on its own. That's because the bass is playing an F note, a C note, and a B flat note. So for that reason, I've written 2 chords above that if you did want to strum chords along with it. The first will be F minor, which looks as follows. Okay, so that's your A minor bar chord on the 8th fret. And then B flat minor, which is your E minor shaped bar chord on the 6th fret of E. To give it a bit of context, I'll just do a touch of singing with the note to give you an idea. And what I'll do is, you'll hear me play that part first, the funk guitar, and then I'll play some of those strummed chords just so you get an idea of how both would sound.
It's just a midnight summer's jam. The air's so thin, but we don't give a damn. Starry sky across the night.
And Then the verse would sound a bit like this. Same thing. Okay, so we've done all those parts. One of the last parts we've left to do is just look at how it goes into the bridge. Now, it goes into the bridge as follows. You're going to play the chords you had already for the intro part, the "you can't do better than this," and so on. Okay, now, what happens at the end of it though, "you can do better than this," it goes into two new chords, but they're very similar. And again, they're used in quite a few of the Neptunes songs, especially from the first Justin Timberlake album, Justified. So this is what's happening. We get an E flat with an F bass, which is essentially 6th fret on E, 8 on B, 8 G. Then you go up to the top and you put 8 on A. That's the first chord, and all you do is slide it down for the next bar. Okay, so then the picking will go as follows. Now you can pick it all down if you wish. I'll be alternating them for this. So it goes. And we are nearly there. Right, so now so far we've covered the bridge, we've covered the chorus, we've covered the verse, the post-chorus, the pre-chorus, okay? The last bit is just a little funk guitar thing at the end. I don't have it written out in tabs, so I'm just going to show it to you by example. So here's a little riff at the end. It goes 3, 4. Okay, I'll explain this very briefly. Okay, so it goes as follows. So it's the 6th fret on B, 4 on B, then 5 on G, 3 on G. So that's basically the same gap, move down. Then slide down 2 frets with your index. Then index 1G, 3D, 3G, 3D, 1G, 3D, 1D, 1A, 4E. And the rhythm goes. And you'll notice I put a little twang on that, 1 on G and 1 on A. Okay, nice way to end the lesson. And those are all the main guitar parts of Justin Timberlake's new song, Midnight Summer Jam. If anybody has any questions on anything, post a comment below. I'll be happy to answer. And if you want to keep updated on the latest videos and the other Justin Timberlake ones I'm putting up, just hit subscribe below. And I'll catch you very soon. Thanks for watching.